Day of September. Cannot believe how this year is flying by. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
Have a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes approved. Mr. Mills, you're solo today. Let's see.
Good afternoon, Council and Mayor. We have 6 applicants tonight. The first one located at 4205 Northridge Road is for the Hank Poor Foundation. They're on wheels. They're applying for special event nonprofit.
It is. I need to go this. Okay. They did that last year too, didn't he? No.
Several years, it's good to be.
Yeah, he's an amazing fella.
Alright, my second applicant is at 1800 McFarland Boulevard East for Child Abuse Prevention Services. Harvest Fest Jam. They're applying for a special event nonprofit tax exempt license.
Okay.
Alright, the third one we have is Jack Brown's Tuscaloosa at 401 23rd Avenue, applying for a restaurant retail liquor license. So,
Where is that?
go ahead, look, sorry, I'm looking at the agenda. This one right here, she's on screen, that's from Starner and Starner. They're applying for a special retail less than 7 days license, for an event on campus.
Okay.
Alright, and then we have 401 23rd Avenue for Jack Brown Tuscaloosa, applying for a restaurant retail liquor license.
That's the name of the restaurant? Jack Brown?
Jack Brown, it's actually gonna be Jack Brown Beer and Burger Joint.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Beer and burgers.
Yeah.
2 of the 4 food groups.
Yeah, that's right.
I tell ya.
They've got a restaurant license?
They're applying for a restaurant
Oh,
retail.
B&B.
Beer and burgers.
The next one, I'm gonna try to pronounce his name, is El Sabor de Mitiera LLC at 1755 Scotland Boulevard East. They're applying for a restaurant retail liquor license.
What is that in?
That's in the shopping center right beside Walmart.
Yeah, where the Chinese
Yes, sir.
buffet place is, and it's next to where
It's on the other corner.
a Mexican
That's
restaurant was
changed
before.
hands multiple
Yes,
times.
sir.
Yeah. Los Tarascos moved from there. Didn't they?
Yes, sir. And the last applicant I have tonight is for Fujiyama Asia Kitchen, at 4851 Rice Mile Road Northeast, Suite 420. It's gonna be Fujiyama Japanese Steak and Seafood House, and they're applying for a restaurant retail liquor license.
They're already located there.
Yes, sir, they just applied. It's a change.
You got 2 liquor licenses in your district today.
That'll make sure it passes. District 3, everybody votes for that. Right, Mike?
I was up there yesterday.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. Shopped at Publix. Okay. All right. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it. Mayor Maddox.
Yes, sir. Just a reminder, we have what we're calling around City Hall, we're calling it the Munis Blackout. Payment software upgrade October 5th and 6th. We're going to be upgrading the financial and accounting software that's in our water and business office, building permit and revenue offices. To do this and to ensure that we're back up and operating the following Monday, we're going to be closed those days. We're putting that message out there, but just reminding everyone, it's part of a lot of upgrades. Y'all have been very generous in funding for us to improve our overall customer service. So if you have any questions or any constituents that reach out to you on those days, just want to make certain you're aware of why those offices will be closed and not accepting payments.
Okay, so that's a Thursday and Friday, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, the next is that certainly our heartfelt sympathies go out to the families at Paul W. Bryant High School and what happened over this weekend. Such a tragic loss to students. So certainly our thoughts and prayers are with them, and especially coming off of such a good Friday night for Paul Bryant High School.
Right.
Certainly I know, I can't imagine what those parents are experiencing. No parent should ever have to bury their children or bury their child. And so we certainly have them in our thoughts and prayers. On a much more positive note, I want to thank our team members again for another outstanding game day operation. This year, and working jointly with UA, we have really tried to step up the experience from public safety to everything in between. The last time I mentioned this was for Texas, and I really focused on the great work that our police and fire departments did. Today, I want to thank Chris Meggs and his group at ESD, and Eric Thompson, and Selvin Green. The public works team, so to speak, those involved in that don't get a lot of recognition, but it takes a lot of work. I know Eric and Chris were out there beginning at 4:30 in the morning on Saturday with their teams. And so I appreciate their hard work and gotten a lot of compliments on that. And a lot of quiet heroes out there working to make that experience really first in class. So very proud of their work.
Mayor, can I echo that? And I'm remiss, I meant to send you a note with them on it. Those people who have chipped in to take care of this city and my district in the middle of these crowds is noticeable. The people who live down there notice it and they appreciate it. And it's come code enforcement, ESD, streets, everybody, police. It really is noticeable.
Thank you. We challenged ourselves to meet the high standard. You helped us by giving us the resources to meet that high standard. And our team members are the ones who are out there delivering. And I appreciate you saying that. So we're going to continue to do our best to do that. And we appreciate the support from the council. The last thing, Mr. Tyner, is we have 3 items for executive session.
Okay. I think it seemed bigger Saturday than the Texas game. And the only thing I could think of is that the airport there was no place to park another plane out there where more people from Mississippi and all they were driving. But it seemed like way more cars to me.
It felt, especially to me, Friday didn't seem, but I guess it depends upon your time, but Saturday felt intense. And I know Jeff and what he sent me at the airport, they were, I wouldn't say they were as slammed as Texas, but they weren't far from it.
Yeah. Wow.
So your team did a really good job. Very proud of their work.
Well, I tell you, this football, I know over where I do my show at the Hampton, they don't have a room left for the home games, the rest of the season. So the Bama football is pretty strong for our economy.
And they also had Parents Weekend on top of the Ole Miss weekend. So that,
I didn't understand that one.
they were showcasing the city. But the good news, that's the way we viewed it, as an economic development opportunity for us. Because we want those parents to send their children to Tuscaloosa.
Sure.
And great job.
Great work.
Thank you.
Great work. All right. If his head's not too big, now Eric Thompson, you got something you want to bring to the table?
By the way, I guess since last Tuesday, Eric was appointed full-time.
He sure was. Congratulations.
A week feels like a month around this place. So, but Eric, congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor Council.
I tell you, he was on the job 1.5 a day on a Sunday, temporary position. I called him, and in less than an hour, a tree was moved out of the street. And that was your first. That was a Sunday.
It was.
after you'd been-
And I've got great people working with me, so everything's on them. And, everything that happens is getting done by them. I'm just standing up here, but I really do have a great team.
Yeah, we know better than
But
that.
so I wanted to introduce you actually to one of the newer members of my team. This is Tim Sullivan. He is the new director of facility maintenance. So you're going to start seeing him a lot at projects committee presenting. We actually came over from the university. He's hit the ground running.
Okay,
Very impressed.
Tim, anything you'd like to say?
I'm just looking forward to working with all of you. Look forward to it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Eric. Randy,
So bear with me today, you guys. I've got a bunch of board appointments to go over with you guys.
yay.
All right, so the first one should be pretty easy. This is Parks and Recreation Authority. Dr. Craig Fairburn, his term has expired or will expire on the 30th of this month. If you guys remember last year, he was appointed to fill an unexpired term. He has expressed a desire to be reappointed for a full term, and this is a 3-year term. So if that's okay with you guys, we can stick that on
He
next
was
week's
only
agenda.
like 6 months or so?
Yes, he was appointed in March of 2022.
I have no problems.
Okay, so that one was easy. Next up, we've got Tuscaloosa Tourism and Sports. We've got 2 positions on that board, position number 2 and position number 11. That's Tracy Braggs and Sarah Patterson. If you guys remember, not too long ago, they redid their bylaws to where anyone that is serving on the board, their second term, after that second term, they're supposed to be rolling off. This is both Ms. Braggs and Patterson's second term, so they need to roll off. This is for a 3-year term, and whoever you guys choose to fill these 2 positions will not be allowed to serve more than 2 consecutive terms. So if you guys would like to, if you have any ideas of who you want to appoint, or if you want to advertise for 2 weeks,
Please.
or however.
I think we
I'd
all
like to
want to
put it out
advertise
there.
for 2 weeks.
Okay.
I mentioned LaJuan Hutchinson, and we said we was gonna come back and visit him, because we put the last guy on there, so I
Right.
definitely wanna see him
Okay.
And I
on
thought
this
we,
side.
I agree with you on that. Then we talked about Shea Bird, because remember, she was the person that was, she had applied, and then
She
we said,
applied,
well,
yeah.
wait till the next time. But Shea
Yeah.
Bird, yeah.
Well, let's,
So, yeah, we'll open the portal again this time, and
make
then
sure
just
that
make
they
sure
get their
they,
resumes in.
yep.
I think LaJuan's already in.
Okay.
It is.
All right, so last but not least, we've got the Zoning Board of Adjustments. They have 3 seats that will need to be either reappointed or filled. So we've got 1 supernumerary member, Miss Mary Catherine Holt. If you guys remember last year, she filled an unexpired term last December. She has expressed a desire to be reappointed for her first full term. And then we've got 2 regular members, Rob Stewart and Paul Rollins Jr. They both have also served on the board since 2013 and 2014. They've expressed a desire to be reappointed, but this is your appointment. So if you guys would like to either advertise or reappoint, we can do it either
I
way.
definitely want to advertise because I just definitely do.
All right.
That's all I'll say.
So Holt,
Yes.
Stewart, and Rollins.
She's
Yes, sir.
Holt is
supernumerary.
a supernumerary.
Yes, sir.
Let's
So
advertise
do you
and
want
see
to
what comes in.
advertise for all 3 or just the 2 regular?
All 3.
All right, for 2 weeks.
You please.
All right, we'll do it. That's all I have.
You. Okay, that'd be good, because 10 years is a long time. Not being elected. Okay, Mr. Holmes,
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, council.
good afternoon.
I am over towards the bottom of page 2. We're on page 20. You'll be authorizing a contract with Jonathan Ray for professional services. This is not to exceed $7,000 a month. That came to you in admin last week. On page 21, you'll be authorizing the mayor to execute an amendment to the municipal agency funding contract with Tuscaloosa Tourism and Sports Commission. This is a total amount of $85,000. And this came to you in finance last week. On page 22, you'll be authorizing the renewal of the city's 2023-2024 engineers professional liability insurance coverage with QBE Specialty Insurance Company. This is a total premium amount of $19,287 and $19,287. Sorry. This came to you in Finance Committee last week. On page 23, you'll be authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Arbitrage Group Incorporated not to exceed $10,500. That came to you in finance last week. On page 24, you will be authorizing disbursement from District 1 improvement funds for Central High School band and football team. That is a total of $2,000 and came to you in finance last week. On page 25, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with Triple J Tree Service LLC for tree removal services at 1404 Caplewood Drive. This is a total not to exceed $1,800 and came to you in projects last week. On page 26, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with Triple J Tree Service. This is for tree removal services at 3200 3rd Avenue, and that is a total not to exceed $3,200, and again came to you in projects last week. On page 27, you'll be authorizing professional services contract with Lance Holloway Productions. This is a total of $15,000 and came to you in projects last week. On page 28, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with Serve Pro of Tuscaloosa. This is a total of $970 and came to you in projects last week. On page 29, you'll be approving lease services agreement with Safe Haven Baby Boxes Incorporated. This was discussed in admin last week. On page 30, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with ST Bunn Construction Company. This is a total of $25,930 and was presented in projects last week. On page 31, you'll be authorizing the mayor to execute task order directive number 2 with Duncan Coker Associates for the University Boulevard Corridor Improvements Project. This is a total not to exceed $70,100, and again was discussed in projects last week. On page 32 through 33, you'll be authorizing an agreement with Red Mountain Entertainment for professional booking, promoting, advertising, and related services for the Tuscaloosa Amphitheater. A little bit of a typo just on your agenda. This is for a base monthly compensation of $18,000, as we discussed last week. They do have attendance incentives and some other performance-based incentives that can get them above the base amount, but it is not the total amount as listed here. On page 34, you'll be authorizing a cooperative maintenance agreement with the Alabama Department of Transportation regarding a cooperative maintenance agreement for city improvements made with an ALDOT right-of-way regarding sidewalk improvements on McFarland Boulevard between mileposts 52.13 and 52.25 bordering Snow Hinton Park. This is doubled up and will be presented in projects today. On page 35, you'll be authorizing an airport capital improvement plan pre-application submission regarding Tuscaloosa National Airport to the Federal Aviation Administration and Alabama Department of Transportation for the 2024 Airport Improvements Program. This was discussed in projects last week. On page 36, you'll be authorizing a pledge and donation agreement with SC Foundation for the Sabin Center Capital Campaign that was discussed in Finance Committee last week. On page 37, you'll be approving a memorandum of understanding with DCH Healthcare Authority. This was discussed in admin last week. This for some training with Chief Smith's folks. On page 38, you'll be approving a downtown riverfront overlay district permit for 2428 6th Street. This was discussed in admin last week. On page 40, you'll be authorizing Amendment 24 to the fiscal year 2023 general fund budget. This was discussed in finance last week. And on page 41, you'll be authorizing Amendment number 25 to fiscal year 2023 general fund budget. Any questions for me?
I have two.
Yes, sir.
On the Red Mountain Agreement?
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure. Ms. Standridge in here? Okay. Okay. So I see the $18,000 a month base amount, and I know there's incentives. We were briefed on that last week. Do we have any sense of what proportions of, how did we budget for it? What did we put in as the expectation in the budget?
So the outside services is budgeted in 2,000, I believe, in this case budget.
I'm sorry, Becky, I can't hear you.
The outside services, the 18,000 is budgeted in this case budget and operating. I'll have to get you a detail, that the remaining will come out of the 501 fund, so I'll have to get you a detail of that, but currently there's no.
Okay, could you get it for me? I have no sense if that base amount we expect to be 50% of the total comp, or do we expect it to be 10% or 90%?
You mean one of the things you're wanting, just to make sure we're all clear, is what their total compensation is in excess of their base monthly.
Yeah,
contract
just
amount.
we must have some expectation because we budgeted for it, right?
Some of that works a little bit differently since it comes out of the 501 account. So
I'm sorry, what's the 501?
The 501 account is where the revenue from your shows goes. So if you get a show that makes $100,000, the revenue the amphitheater is generating is sort of the first line to be paying for things such as the Red Mountain contract. And so it's not necessarily budgeted in the traditional sense
It
of,
works a little bit different from general fund.
Okay, if you would just, Ms. Chief, give me a note explaining that, I would
Sure.
appreciate it. And Mr. Holmes, also,
Yes.
can I get a copy of the donation and pledge agreement?
the Savings Center Foundation?
Right,
Yes, sir.
thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Scott. All right, we have projects, 2:30, finance 3:15, public safety at 4, then council at 6. Elevated advisory committee meeting Wednesday at 11:30. And airport terminal lunch and learn Friday, September 29th, this Friday at 11:30. And how long will that last? Do you know, Mayor?
Mayor, it's from 4 to 5, or Mr. Minor, it's from 4 to 5.
Okay, so it says 11:30 here.
Which one are you talking about?
The lunch and learn.
I believe an hour schedule.
So this is not,
11:30?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
oh, but that 11:30 is right?
Yes.
Okay. And then the strategic review task force 4 to 5. Okay, thank you, Brandy. That's Thursday, October 5th. Any other comments from anyone here? Okay, is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion, a second, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, sir. As your city attorney and attorney licensed to practice law in the state of Alabama, I can certify that the items to be discussed in executive session are to discuss with your attorney the legal ramifications of and legal options for pending litigation, controversies not yet being litigated but imminently likely to be litigated, or imminently likely to be litigated if the governmental body pursues a proposed course of action. Also, to discuss security plans, procedures, assessments, measures, or systems, or the security or safety of persons, structures, facilities, or other infrastructure, including without limitation information concerning critical infrastructure, the public disclosure of which could be reasonably expected to be detrimental to the public safety or welfare, as well as to discuss preliminary negotiations involving matters of trade or commerce in which the governmental body is in competition with private individuals or entities or other governmental bodies in Alabama or in other states or foreign nations, the discussions of which would have a detrimental effect upon the competitive position of a party to the negotiations or upon the location, retention, expansion, or upgrading of a public employee or business entity in the area served by the governmental body if disclosed outside of executive session.
Did you repeat that?
No.
All right, if you are not, okay, have a motion second to go into executive session. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay.